Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Dragon Ball Son Goku kid figure from the folks over at Bandai and Tamashii Nations. That's right, my friends, straight out of the original Dragon Ball series, you know, the one before Dragon Ball Z, comes the kid version of Goku in the SH Figuarts line, and we are going to check him out. So of course he comes in this really nice window box packaging, fully showcasing the figure and the tons of accessories and interchangeable parts that are housed within. The back of the box gives you some really cool photos showing the different ways that you can pose this guy. But let's go ahead and get him pulled out of the packaging and get a closer look at him. So, of course, if you have been collecting any of the Dragon Ball figures from the SH Figuarts line, this one here is going to be one of the smallest ones in the batch. You can see from the bottom of his feet to the top of his head, he's right around 4 inches tall. If we measure all the way up to the top of his hair spikes there, it's nearly a full 5 inches. So he's a pretty small build, but the overall design is really, really great on this guy, because just looking at him, I can tell you that this dude looks like he popped right off the animated series, straight out of the anime. He's got a very cool, very cartoony look. All the proportions look really nice. You can see there's a good amount of articulation worked in there, which we're going to go over more here in just a bit. But I got to say that the overall quality feels pretty nice. The figure is nice and sturdy. He's got a really great paint deco. It's got a nice kind of matte finish, especially with the outfit there. You can see you got the little logo printed there on both his chest as well as his back. Really great facial expression there. And of course, since it's an SH Figuarts figure, he comes with interchangeable faces, so you can swap those out. So before we get into all the crazy different parts and everything, let's go ahead and talk about the articulation with this guy. So the head is ball jointed. It's a really interesting ball joint, actually. There's no actual points of articulation in the neck itself there, but you can see I can still roll the head all the way around. It can move left, it can move right. It moves forwards and backwards slightly, you know, not a huge range of motion, but still enough. You know, I still think that's a pretty good range of movement there. Does have those really, really nice ball joints at the shoulders there, where it's kind of double jointed. So it's jointed like inside the torso as well as on the outside there. So you can see the way his sleeve moves with the articulation there if you move his arms forward, but still swivels all the way around there. You got a nice swivel at the bicep. You got these really great double joints at the elbows for a good range of motion there. And then of course you got these wonderful joints at the wrists where it both swivels and is ball jointed. And of course, this is because partly that you can remove those hands. You can see they're just on tiny little ball joints there. And that is so that we can swap out the hands with various other options. You can see he's got a really nice joint at the torso. If you kind of peek under there, you can see there's like a little hinge joint there, which allows him to actually move forwards and backwards pretty well. But it also rocks all the way around, which is really great. You can do the same thing at the waist. Kind of swivel that all the way around left and right. You might have noticed I just knocked his tail off. So he does come with a tail, and he actually has an interchangeable tail here too. So that's just on a little ball joint itself, and it just kind of pops in there, and you can swivel that around. And you can see we've got this nice kind of standard tail, and then we've also got like this one that's straight out. I think this is more like for flying on the Nimbus accessory, so it looks like it's kind of blowing in the wind almost there. So that's really easy to swap in and out. I will say that this joint right here is super loose. It falls out real easy. Obviously, I just knocked it out while I was kind of playing around with them, so that is definitely something to be cautious of. It pops out of socket real easy. You see nice ball joints at the thighs there on the inside. These little pieces of his legs, you can see these are just kind of like extra little pieces of plastic that are in there to kind of complete the flow of his outfit that he's wearing. And those don't really get in the way. They kind of move with the leg. They're really nice there. So you can bring his legs outwards. You can still pose forwards and backwards. Good range of motion there. You do have nice double joint there at the knee. That joint is nice and hidden when the leg is straight. You can see it kind of hides in the sculpt there, but when you bend it, you can really see that joint. And then you got the nice ball joints at the ankles as well. So look at that. Great motion on the feet. You can rotate the foot all the way around, forwards and backwards. And we even have this little bitty toe piece there. So you can kind of crunch the toes up to help with your posing as well. And there goes that tail again. I just knocked that tail off. But posing is really nice on this guy. And of course, if you've had any SH Figuarts figures, you pretty much know what to expect. From time to time, it's worth noting that you might pop those arms or legs out of socket, but they're kind of designed that way so that they're they don't really cause any stress, they don't break, and it's real easy to pop them back in socket if that happens. But all in all, he's solid. I mean, he stands really good. You find the right stances with this guy. He doesn't fall over. He stands up very nicely. Should be able to get some decent poses out of him. And of course, swapping out those parts are really going to help you with that. So I mentioned the alternate faces. So the face right out of the box, he's kind of got this, almost like this angry smirk type thing going on there. But we also have the ability to put him with the smiling face and then the really happy face with the eyes closed and the teeth showing on the grin. And in order to do that, you're just going to pop the front of the hairpiece off. You can see it's just on a little peg there. Remove the hairpiece, and you can pop the faceplate right off of those little pegs there. Also, by doing this, you can see the really, really weird joint on the neck there. See how it's like jointed, like plugged into the head, and then you got that joint there? See, it would move a lot more with that hinge joint there, but obviously the face breaks up that articulation a little bit there. But still, it's not bad, I don't think. So you can easily just swap on the new face. It just plugs on there nice and tight in those sockets there. You can plug the hair back on, and suddenly we have a completely new look for our Goku, which is very, very cool. So he comes with a ton of hands, just so many different options here. This is going to allow you to have closed fists, open hands. You've kind of got gripping hands so he can hold on to his staff. You've got some different hands so he can get into some different fighting poses. And like I showed you just a second ago, it's real easy to just kind of pop his hand right off the socket at the wrist there. And you can easily just take the new hand, pop it into place. It might roll around a little bit, but look at that. It just clips in there very, very nicely. So you can swap those hands around. It really gives you lots of different ways you can display the figure for some different poses there. So as far as the rest of his accessories go, first of all, he does come with a Dragon Ball, which is very cool. He's got the little 4-star Dragon Ball. It's a nice kind of translucent orange with the 4 stars printed on it. Very cool looking little accessory. He does have hands molded so that he can hold on to it if you want to. So that is a really nice little touch. He also comes with his little staff. Nice red staff. And of course, if you want him to hold on to that, you're going to want to switch to the hands, which are like the gripping hands here. So you can pop those hands on, and that way you can grip onto the staff. You can get him posed in some different poses with that. Or if you would prefer, he's also got kind of the smaller version of the staff, kind of like, not extended, put in this little holster here. So the holster you can pop on. And in order to do that, you're going to want to pop the head out of the neck joint there. You can see it pulls right off. And then you just easily kind of place the staff right over the neck there, put the head back on in its place, and boom, just like that, we can now pose our Goku with the staff draped around his chest. Very, very cool little accessories there. The last accessory is very cool. I mentioned it a little bit ago, but he comes with the flying Nimbus. This is a really, really neat accessory, and one of the things that SH Figuarts did is they included one of their little clear stands here so that you can actually put the Nimbus in flight. So the way the instructions show it is to use the 2 articulated arms here. You can see there's 2 peg holes on the Nimbus. So we can plug those in there, and just like that, gives it a nice and sturdy look. I suppose if you wanted to try, I don't know, let's try this with just one. I'm not sure. It might be a little too heavy. Maybe if we move this over to like the middle peg, and I think maybe if we plug it into the front here, I think that's just a little too top heavy. So you're definitely going to want to go with that kind of double armature setup that it shows in the instructions. So it comes with both of those there. Plugs into the bottom of the Nimbus nice and solid. So now we can have our little kid Goku kind of sitting up on top, which is a really cool little effect. Now here's something else really interesting. They did come with this little arm piece as well that kind of clips on, and there's a little hole up here in the top that you're supposed to plug that into. So the whole point of that is so that if you want to put Goku sitting up on the top, you can clip that around his waist to hold him into place. Except I don't really like the way that looks. I almost feel like it's a little too busy, like there's a little too much going on here. So you can put that up there if you want to, if you feel like he's going to fall down or you want him to be a little more solid. But, I mean, he sits up here just fine without it. Well, when I'm not moving him around and knocking him off. But you could totally just get him balanced right there on the top. Look at that. And now we can display him sitting up there on the Nimbus, the flying Nimbus, which I think is just a really, really cool display. Put the little Dragon Ball in his hand. Look at that. That is just such a fun display to put up on your figure shelf. So yeah, there you guys go. That is a look at the new Kid Son Goku in the SH Figuarts line from the folks over at Bandai and Tamashii Nations. Very cool figure, especially if you're a fan of the Dragon Ball franchise, or if you've been collecting any of the other Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z figures in the SH Figuarts line. I think he's really solid with some really fun accessories and just an overall great look. I gotta give a very special thanks to the folks over at Bluefin for providing this figure for this video. This guy is available right now. You should be able to find him at any online stores or anywhere that carries SH Figuarts products. So happy hunting, my friends. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and don't forget to subscribe for more reviews just like this one. Until next time, my friends.